Have you ever wondered where all the rainwater and snowmelt goes in Fayette County and how we keep pollutants like trash, sediment, bacteria, and nutrients out of our major creeks and the Kentucky River? You've probably heard of things that you can do as an individual, like picking up after your pet and minimizing your use of lawn chemicals and fertilizers. But today, we're going to talk about other approaches to clean water. Building drainage systems that prevent or minimize flooding while also removing trash, sediment, and other pollutants. We'll meet with some engineering technicians to talk about the modern urban drainage system, how they work, and how to keep them in good operating condition.
We're here at Clausing Group, standing in a detention basin, and I am with Bill Warren with the Division of Water Quality. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning.
Well, we're here to talk about this stormwater control, and I guess the first thing we want to cover is what exactly does it do?
This takes all of the stormwater that's gathered up in the parking lots, also off the roof runoffs, and through the permeable pavers. All the runoff comes in here and we treat it kind of in a way to just let it settle out and maintain. It also has underground piping which gathers the water, detains it for a certain period of time to kind of control downstream flooding.
All stormwater controls require some maintenance, so can you give us a little bit of an idea of what that involves?
Some of the maintenance taken care of by the property owners. Also, a lot of it's maintained by itself by the features that are installed into the stormwater boxes, which takes the silt out of it and settles it out and keeps it inside the box. And then you take the boxes, the tops off, and maintain it through vectors, backing it out.
Clausing Group has some other stormwater controls on site. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Yes, also they have green roofs which actually help treat the water before it ever makes it to this point. So you're getting kind of a double treating. Also, all the roof water runoff is collected. They use it for their landscaping features at other times, which helps prevent bringing it to here and having to treat it again.
We're going to go ahead and talk to Roscoe Clausing next to see why he chose to do these kind of stormwater controls on their company property. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'd like to speak about specifically is the vegetative roof. Yeah, so the vegetative roof is an interesting stormwater control. You wouldn't necessarily think of your roof as a way to manage stormwater, but by placing a vegetative roof on the front of our building, this is one of the best examples of how you can maximize ecological system services. It reduces peak stormwater flow. It's a pollinator habitat. It helps reduce the urban heat island effect, and it improves air quality by filtering all the particulates that are in the air. So it's another great example of how one practice in the development of your landscape or your building can help provide multiple services to the community.
Rain gardens are a great stormwater control because not only do they help water quality, they're also a beautiful amenity to your property. I'm here with Dan Detman with Environmental Services, who's going to give us an overview of rain gardens. Hello, Dan.
Hi.
Well, can you first just tell us what is a rain garden?
Well, a rain garden is a low area of a property that's designed to capture the runoff from either stormwater or snowmelt.
Can you tell us a little bit about how a rain garden benefits water quality?
Well, rain gardens can capture sediments that are being washed into the area with the runoff. Can also capture nutrients, and the plants that are in the rain garden can actually absorb and take in some of the pollutants that might be in there.
So the rain garden we're standing next to is next to the street and the road where there's lots of automobiles. Is that important for a rain garden? Like, is this going to really benefit the environment for being in this location?
It does. It captures the residues that might be washed off the streets, and it also helps prevent this material from getting into the creeks. So it's a great benefit for the city to have these along our roadways.
That's great. So if you had a rain garden on your property, what are some ways that you should take care of it? What's a good way to maintain your rain garden and keep it working?
Well, you want to make sure that your plants are healthy, and you want to try to keep the sediment that may collect in there at a minimum. So maybe that would take once a year, raking it out. We want to keep the vegetation that may be washed into there, like leaves, keep those cleaned out. And another thing you can do is make sure that it's not eroding where the water is running in there. You might want to have some rocks in there to help dissipate the flow. And that's about it. They're pretty easy to take care of, actually.
Thank you. I appreciate your overview of the rain gardens.
You're welcome.
We're out here at a commercial property on Harrodsburg Road in Lexington, and I am with Jason Martin with the Division of Water Quality, who's going to give us a little bit of information about the swale that we're standing in.
Hello, Jennifer. Thanks for having me. Yes, we are actually located on a property off of Harrodsburg Road that has a lot of unique water quality devices. We are currently standing in the bioswale located on this property. This device helps with the treatment of stormwater runoff as far as sediment, trash, and debris. It has 2 curb cuts located off the parking lot for water to infiltrate into the swale. It also has an overflow structure and a heavy rain event for stormwater to enter the overflow structure in times that the basin fills up with water.
There are also some stormwater devices in the parking lot that lead to some underground detention. If you could give us some details on that.
Right. This site also has an underground detention basin located on the property. It has 3 catch basins on half of the parking lot that drain to a diversion manhole, which has a snout located in the manhole with a 3-foot sump depth. So you have some treatment from the snout before the stormwater enters the underground chambers. Once entering the underground chambers, it'll drain to an outlet control structure in the bioswale, and then from the bioswale it will enter a water quality device located next to the city street. Maintenance is also an important item that we need to address. This particular site has a isolator row located in the underground detention basin with inspection ports. Those ports need to be opened and view the first row of piping in the underground detention for sediment, trash, leaves, and debris that need to be removed on a quarterly basis. As far as the bioswale, trash, sediment, and debris, keeping it picked up every few months or quarterly is a good thing to do, as well as keeping the parking lot clean, sweeping the parking lot. Those kinds of things are good maintenance habits to get into. As far as the water quality unit, about once every 2 to 3 years you would want to take a vac truck and suck any sediment in the water quality unit in order to keep the drainage flowing like it needs to. As far as your catch basins in the parking lots, cigarette butts, trash, debris, we want to get those things out to maintain clean water.
Pat McFadden with the Division of Water Quality is going to give us some information on the inlet inserts in the property behind us. Thank you, Pat.
You're welcome. So the property behind us has inlet inserts on the curb drains. So the water will come down, it'll pick up trash and debris. We'll have cigarette butts, we'll have cigarette wrappers, cans, bottles, sediment, fines, things like that that'll wash into our storm sewer. And it'll cause us problems, especially at the streams and the waterways when it gets there. So we have inlet inserts that goes under the grate, and the water comes in, filters all that out. Then we come through every quarter or so and we clean that out. And it's all taken care of. So we just dispose of it in a dumpster someplace. It's better to dispose of it in a dumpster than in our waterways.
We've moved from detention areas to retention ponds, and we are back with Bill, who's going to give us some information on the retention pond behind us.
Yeah, these retention ponds are used similarly to the same way that the detention basins are. Retention, the difference in those, the retention has a permanent pool, and it'll also take all the same runoffs as the detention basins do, but we have a longer retention time to hold it in the ponds to try to let the contaminants and the solids and everything kind of bleed out of the water and sink to the bottom, and all the clean water go out the top. Over a longer period of time, though, it would call for some dredging or something to make sure we get back down to the normal designs that it was called for in the beginning.
Well, Lexington has a lot of detention basins and retention ponds, so if you could give us an overview of why we have the different types of stormwater controls and maybe what's different about them.
Yeah, the detention are designed to hold water for shorter periods of time, 24 to 48 hours, and they will end up dumping out all the water and going back. They're actually called dry basins, and we have 1,191 dry basins in the county, which are inspected at least twice yearly. And on the retention, which has the permanent pools, we have 97 of them that are inspected once monthly.
So with these different types of stormwater controls, what is the difference in maintenance between the two of them?
With the detention basins, it seems to be a little bit easier to do the maintenance on them because a lot of times after the water's run down, everything's easily picked up. And also, these need to be on PMs, preventive maintenance. You know, somebody needs to be looking at them on a weekly or monthly, and this could be HOAs, could be anybody that's involved, the commercial properties, but they do all need to be on a preventive maintenance schedule. The retention basins are a little bit more complicated because a lot of our structures are out in water, and sometimes you got to get access to try to clean the inlets off, which makes it a whole lot more complicated.